Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and today I'm going to be reviewing A Haunting in Venice, directed by and starring Kenneth Branagh, along with Tina Fey, Kelly Riley, and Michelle Yeoh. So, first thing to say here is that firstly, I'm just not a big Agatha Christie murder mystery whodunit guy. I'm slightly starting to become more intrigued by them, but it's never been like, my preferred genre, like whodunit mysteries, but it's slowly starting to grow on me. But I haven't read a lot of Agatha Christie or Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes books, so yeah, just not my biggest thing. Though I will say, I do enjoy BBC Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, and I did really like the Guy Ritchie, Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies. But other than that, can't say that I've seen or felt fallen in love with a lot of whodunit type of movies. That being said, um, with Kenneth Branagh's adaptations of Hercule Poirot. I guess I would more or less say the same thing because if you guys didn't know, this is the third Poirot story that Kenneth Branagh has adapted for the big screen. The first was Murder on the Orient Express, which I have seen, and I was kind of like, yeah, it's all right. It doesn't really do anything special. Just kind of tells a typical who done it, and then kind of goes about its business. And the second is A Death on the Nile, which I've seen part of, but I haven't. I to this day I still haven't finished. Well, I watched it for the first time recently. I don't know why I said it like that, but I still haven't finished it. But it still seems like more or less the same. Like, this is just a straight up adaptation of an Agatha Christie story, and nothing more, and nothing less. Same thing. Where look, it's that guy, it's that famous A-lister star. But other than that, doesn't look like it'll do anything special. And so with A Haunting in Venice, the only thing that got my butt into that theater is the fact that this was is being advertised as more of a ghost story slash horror film than it is a murder mystery who done it. Now let me be clear without spoiling anything because you guys know how I roll by now. Why do I keep having to say that? Without giving anything away, this is not just a straight up ghost story. There's still a case to be solved, and you guys know that. The trailers kind of tell you that. If for those of you who have been like kind of fooled or like, well, not fooled, but like I guess deceived by the marketing, I just want to preface you for anyone not in the know, this is not a straight up horror movie. For that, I definitely check out The Nun 2. That's still in theaters right now. But this is not a straight up horror movie. But what sold me was the fact that obviously that would be included in this. All the marketing capitalizes on the fact that there's are there ghosts? Is this palazzo in Venice, Italy, really haunted? What's going on? That's pretty much the only thing that got me in the theaters because again, with the Murder on the Orient Express, I was just like, there's just really nothing exceptional about this. Um, I can't say like it made me a huge Hercule Poirot fan, but when I saw the trailer, I was like, you know what? I think I will check this out in theaters. And you know what? I am glad that I did. I'm glad I took a chance on this movie because it's just surpassed my expectations. So let's get into why that is. First thing, I wish I knew the director of photography's name right off the top of my head because this movie is shot beautifully. It is gorgeous to look at. Not since Skyfall and Spectre, the James Bond movies directed by Sam Mendes, have I ever seen like just a main kind of like a mainstream, like action. Well, I wouldn't call it action, but you get like just a mainstream kind of blockbuster with just cinematography that's just this beautiful, like this this appealing. Wow, it's beautifully shot. And furthermore, it's very well edited, sounds well designed as well because this movie wants you to be paranoid along with its characters, along with this group of people who've all showed up for this Halloween party, who slowly become entangled in a more sinister plot. It wants you to feel afraid with them. And for the most part, mainly due to how it's shot and edited, it actually does succeed. There were moments that caught me off guard, even startled me. There are also moments where there's a certain sound, there's something going on where like my hairs were actually standing up. Um, so yeah, my expectations were surprised. Whereas when I was watching A Murder on the Orient Express, I was just like, it's gonna go this way, that way. There's nothing that's gonna be surprised me. And lo and behold, nothing really surprised me. This caught me off guard on more than one occasion. However, I can't go so far as to say that this is a fresh original plot because, after all, it is an adaptation of Agatha Christie's novel Halloween Party, which I have not read, but I know that Kenneth Branagh is very thorough in adapting literary works. He's known for his big Shakespeare adaptations where nothing is omitted, so I'm sure it's the case here. Um, and Agatha Christie is, I believe, one of the pioneers, or I wouldn't say pioneer, but she's one of the most renowned writers of like whodunits. So, certain tropes, certain things that you expect from a murder mystery whodunit are there. And I can't say like there was a moment in this movie where I was like, holy shit, I didn't see that coming. Oh, man, like, nah. Every just like Murder on the Orient Express, everything more or less happened the way I was expecting it to happen. No big reveals for this mystery, unfortunately. But hey, you know it didn't take the movie from me because again, it's just I guess it all lies in the execution. Like I said, though I wasn't taken aback or surprised. I did really feel uneasy because of how this was created, and I think another factor in that is the performances and acting in this movie. Unlike with Murder on the Orient Express, where it was just like, oh, look at all these familiar faces. You got Willem Dafoe, you got Johnny Depp, you got Judi Dench, all playing these cliches. With this, again, there are still those tropish characters, but I think because it's a smaller cast, you do get to spend more time with these people, so they're not just those cliche case suspects. They're not just like, oh, everyone's a suspect, and that's pretty much the depth of their development. No, you really get a feel for these people, and there's just as much attention spent on what these folks are going through and how the creepy stuff is impacting them as much as there is, Perot trying to get to the bottom of what's going on here. So that was very much appreciated. Also, um, and the main thing that works with this movie is that Perot, being a man of logic, always looking for the ironclad facts, using like people's, very real, very tangible human nature to discern like what's really going on with them. One of those people who can just look you in the eyes and tell that you're a bullshitter. There's always a solution. There's always a reason for X, Y, and Z. He's a very logical person who only believes in what he can see. To see him go up against a case that might not be so logical and might be steeped in, the world of the supernatural, which is kind of what Michelle Yeoh represents, that clash between logic and, the known and the unknown, between the logic and what's in front of you and what you can't see. That actually made for a very compelling story, and that's not the first time something like that's been done. We've seen movies where someone's like, "Oh, I don't believe in ghosts," and then they come up against something that's like, "Oh, maybe they are real." But hey, like I said, with A Haunting in Venice, though it's not fresh or original, it all lies in the execution, and that plot, which is pretty much the central backbone of this movie, was executed very well. So, yeah, wrapping it up. Oh, and another thing that I do have to point out is that the pacing in this movie was a bit abrupt. Again, for a movie that obviously wants you to feel paranoid and keep you guessing at every corner, I felt like maybe it could have been a little bit longer and could have moved at a slightly slower pace during the setup, because it's like an hour and 50 minutes long, so just under 2 hours. I felt like that was too short for what Kenneth Branagh was trying to go for here. I definitely felt that he wanted, that like a more like a bit of a more of a slow burn could have paid off because things just start happening like that. Like, you know, Perot's recruited for the mystery, and then boom, boom, boom. Like, I could have spent it could have moved at a slightly slower pace for me so that I really could have felt it. But I as it was, I felt it. Like I said, the way it's shot, the sound design, the way it's edited, and the way it's acted is still solid and effective enough. But I felt like it could have gone on for just a little bit longer to like really maximize on that feeling of paranoia and unease. But still, all those flaws aside, I'm still going to give A Haunting in Venice a very well deserved 9 out of 10. It's not perfect, it's not the best of the best, but it's still going on my favorite movies of the years list because this is everything I want a murder mystery who done it to be. And had it not been for, kind of, those predictable who done it tropes that you see in these sorts of stories and kind of like the abrupt pace at which it moves, it would have been a perfect 10 out of 10. But as it stands, it's a 9 out of 10, which is still really high because this real A Haunting in Venice did still exceed my expectations. I was expecting to go into this and just be like, it's another Hercule Poirot, Kenneth Branagh movie, but no, it was more. So 9 out of 10 for Haunting in Venice. This has been another edition of Wave Watches, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.